Welcome to Pod Me If You Can TV, where we discuss obscure films with your favourite stars. And today's film, Lloyd, is The Last Time I Committed Suicide, which is just a really pleasant title,
Yeah,
first
that's
of all.
really confronting.
Yeah, it's not going to fly off the shelves, I wouldn't say. The lead of this movie is Thomas Jane, but you wouldn't know it because there's a lot of Keanu Reeves publicity about it. Thomas Jane was in The Punisher and Thursday, which we've previously reviewed in this series. Keanu Reeves, it is said on all the advertising that he gives his best performance yet, which I don't know if that would be that difficult in 1997. Bill and Ted's and like a handful of things, but he hadn't yet been in The Matrix, which I think is 1999. The director of the film, Stephen Kay, this is his first film. He went on to direct about 6 episodes of The Shield and various other TV shows, Sons of Anarchy, Covert Affairs, and so this is like his brief foray into film so far. Thomas Jane plays Neil Cassidy, who is in the 1940s, and Thomas Jane's meant to be 20 years old, but I can't see Thomas Jane as any younger than 30. He just looks like it's in his face. You know, there's years of experience there. He may well be 20 in this. I don't know. Supporting cast-wise, you've got Adrian Brody, who obviously from King Kong and not at this stage, but people will know him from that, and The Pianist, and Claire Forlani, who I think is great, and I can't understand why she's never been more popular.
Absolutely, I completely agree with you.
Look, the opening text of this film, I've shortened it, it says, "A man's life is merely a collection of events, and when they are tallied up, they make up the man." This is based on a letter from Neil Cassidy, who is like a figure in the Beat generation of the 1940s, and a major influence on Jack Kerouac and his story On the Road. So he's kind of a kooky, goofy, weird philosopher-writer, basically. And Keanu and Adrian Brody make up his buddies, pretty much. And there's no mention of the fact that he was a bisexual as well, and there's kind of a thing going on between him and Adrian Brody. But all of Keanu Reeves' scenes take place in this pool hall. So pretty much he may have been on set for a day or two, 3 days kind of tops. There's sort of very little of Keanu Reeves that isn't hitting on a girl or drinking a beer, pretty much. The thing is, the suicide attempt is done by Claire Forlani's character, and Joan, and she's like on the floor with slashed wrists 13 minutes into this film. So, it hits you pretty quick, and there's this intercut kind of happiness versus hospital room situation going on. The editing of this film, there's a lot of black and white, there's a lot of kind of classy shots in this, it's well done. It's just that the story is really for a specific interest. Like, it doesn't play out so well as a film for entertainment. It's one of those things where I think you have to know a bit about the Beat generation, a bit about Neil Cassidy, to really appreciate what you're watching, because, it just seems like they're jerks otherwise. Yeah. I think they just kind of bounce from girl to girl, and it's not as if you don't know anything about kind of the, free nature and, their philosophy and stuff, it's sort of, they come up as jerks.
Sure.
And the biggest jerk is Keanu Reeves, because when Thomas Jane's character, wants to finally sort of be with Claire Forlani, Keanu Reeves knows this, and he keeps him at the pool hall and keeps him drinking and wastes his time and doesn't let him get back. He's going to get a suit so he can go to a job interview the next day with Claire Forlani's dad or something and get a job. So he messes up his life. He has this image in his head of this white picket fence and this happiness, but Keanu Reeves' character is all set to wreck that for him, so he can keep drinking with his buddy, pretty much. And it's this little subtext. Look, it's a chapter in his life. You can kind of get the feeling at the end of it there'll be a next girl and a next chapter, and he works at this like tire yard, so it's sort of the snapshot of the 1940s. He's a philanderer, he's a womanizer. It's not a likable kind of role, and a lot of heavy voiceover and a lot of in-your-face kind of womanizing.
What happens to Keanu Reeves' character?
Look, he just wants to hook up with this underage girl who he's on the phone with and trying to drag out to this pool hall at night. So, like, he's just a jerk, and him and Thomas Jane have a little tussle and stuff, and it's clear that he's not, like, a real friend to him. But, like I said, he's only on set for a few days, tops. So, it's a very small part by Keanu Reeves. I'll hold up the box again. Keanu Reeves is bigger than Thomas Jane on this. You know what I mean?
In typical straight-to-video fashion, he's only in it for a scene.
Yeah, I have no idea if this actually was released on DVD, but I don't think it was. I mean, I'm sorry, in the theaters, but I don't think it was. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know a little about the Beat Generation. I mean, you may enjoy it. It's just that, like, I think Claire Forlani's great to watch. Thomas Jane just doesn't seem to have got it all together, you know, role-wise yet, and Keanu is, I don't know, forgettable. It's forgettable, unfortunately.
So it isn't his best performance.
Maybe so far, like in 1997, but look, by 1999 he's in The Matrix, you know, and then he's doing more interesting films on the strength of that. He's not a star at this point. All right, find more from us at www.podmeifyoucan.com.